evening and good morning to those who are in another part of the world, but good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Best wishes from Google Educators Group of Delhi NCR. It's a very, very special day for us. As you can see, we already have a very special guest right now with us. And we are going to have another very special guest, expert joining us, and we are very excited to bring her up on the stage. But before that, welcome to yet another session of learning with GEG Delhi NCR. We are with you. We've been with you for more than a year now, and I think you know all of us. But just to start with a round of introductions, I'm Sangeeta Gulati, leader GEG Delhi NCR. And along with me, I have a team of my captains and co-leader. And also, since we are part of Asia Pacific region, and we have so many active leaders of Asia Pacific GGs who are always eager to not only share but also learn with us, and they're excited when we do something special. So we have another very special guest from our APAC leaders, MK, as well here. So I'm going to give everybody a minute just to do a quick round of introduction. So starting with our co-leader, Sanchita. Sanchita, take it away.
Hi everyone, thank you, Sagita ma'am. Yes, I think nearly a year and a half we've been running this GG Delhi NCR program, and it's every time we get together, brainstorm, or some of us one of us gets in touch with somebody we've been following for a while. We get super duper excited and we say, okay, how can we share this excitement with the rest of the community, not just the GG Delhi NCR community, but also our community from around the world. So I'll also extend a warm welcome to MK from GG Gambak, and he's always been the special guy. Whenever we do a session, MK is always sure to just pop in and say hello. So hello right back at you, MK. And I'm going to pass on to Rupali.
Hi everyone, I'm Rupali Arora, Learn Captain GG Delhi NCR, and very warm welcome to MK for joining us. And this particular session is really, really close to our heart. And I'm super excited to have loads of learning from today's session. So I won't take much time because we really want to learn a lot in the session. So over to you, Vibha.
Hello everyone. Namaste. I'm Vibha, and as Rupali ma'am said, really don't want to take up a lot of time. And really warm welcome to you, MK. Thank you for joining in. And I think I cannot wait anymore. I'm very sorry, but Sangeeta, let's
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
think the five of us. The
Big
four of us, of
fans.
course, are from the same place. MK is our guest today, but we all share a common moment today, especially with regards to our special guest. So we've all been following, you know, this rock star, educational edtech rock star, for years now. She's primarily a maths teacher. I do not teach maths, but yet she pulled me right in with the way she taught, with the ideas that she brought in, and how to look at edtech as a teacher, not just as something I can wow my students with, but where I can truly engage my students. So total fangirl moment for me right now, and I'm super excited. And yeah, let's get the ball rolling.
Right. MK, do you think we are ready to welcome our very, very special guest for which you reached out and you said you want to be here with us because you are, of course, a big, big fan and follower. Right, MK?
Yes,
Right.
thank you so much, Sangeeta, and all my colleague in GG APAC, especially GEG Delhi NCR. First of all, thank you so much for having me to support the program. And for those who have know me, I'm MK, or we call it in Malaysia Cikgu MK, from leader GEG Gomba. And also on behalf of GEG Malaysia, thank you so much for having us. And we are looking forward to have our mentor for Schoolytics. And in Malaysia, we also uh, have a good feedback, which is all the teachers, mostly educated that use the Schoolytics, they love so much. And for those who look at the comment, all the news info we spread all the Malaysia to join the session tonight, and hopefully we can gain a lot of knowledge. And after this, I think you are fell in love in Schoolytics and use more about the Google Classroom. And thank you so much. Do support to our the program, and we are looking forward to engage more teachers to use Schoolytics in future. Thank you. Thank you.
Great, great, great. Thank you. So you've already talked about the person that we all are so excited to have with us, as Sanchita called the rock star. I think the very first person that I followed on various socials, the blogs that we subscribed to, the Twitter where we followed, is the person that I'm very excited to bring up on stage. So let's have a big round of applause, virtual and practical, as here we go for Alice Keeler.
Hey
Alice,
everybody, thanks for having me. What a treat. I'm so excited. So if you don't know me, I am Alice Keeler. I live in the United States, live in Kansas. I moved there from California during the pandemic, which if you don't know, no one can believe because California is sunny and warm and Kansas is crazy weather all of the time. I am a mom of 5 kids and I do teach high school math. So that's what I do in the morning. Part-time is I teach high school math. I've written 7 books and I blog at alicekeeler.com. So I hope that you will visit my blog to find more information about teaching with technology. And Sangeeta, I think it was, I didn't take a note of who made this comment. Actually, I think it was Sangeeta. I do want to engage my students with EdTech. It is really important that we're not looking for things that are shiny and fancy, but rather things that really enhance learning. It should improve learning, improve teacher efficiency, and improve feedback loops, that I'm able to get back to students multiple times on the same piece of work, that those are things that really make school or learning better. So I am a Google Classroom expert. I love using Google Classroom. I have written 7 books. 3 of them are about Google Classroom. And I found this company, Schoolytics. I'm wearing the shirt today. I found this company a year ago. And so they're a pretty new company. So if you've never heard of Schoolytics, it's because they've only been around for a little over a year, honestly. So they contacted me and said, hey, could you give us some advice on what we're doing here? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I do. This is what I do. I code. I'm a Google developer expert. I code Google apps. So you'll find that I have 7 add-ons. I don't know if you can share those. If you go to alicekeeler.com/codedbyalice, right here in this chat, you'll see that I have 12 add-ons that are officially approved by Google, and I have hundreds that are not approved by Google. So I thought, it's really hard to get these add-ons and my resources. I create a lot of resources to get them out to people. So I said, you guys, Schoolytics, you need to give me a job. I really want to work for you because I love this product so much and I want to be able to contribute and code for Schoolytics. So so they said yes. So that is something that I do. So I'm really excited to share that with you today. Are you able to bring up my slides?
Yes, there it is.
There we go. Thank you. So I do have my slides and my screen share. I'm not ready for my screen share, so I'll let you know.
Yes, we'll, I guess, be in background so that we can give you the prime space and you take over from here. We'll be backstage in case you need any help. We'll be there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
We'll come in case there are any questions. Is that okay with everyone? Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, we're going to do a little bit of an experiment today because I have only done slides in StreamYard one time before, and I'm not sure how to refresh the slides, which I'm going to need to do. So we're going to find out how this works.
All right.
So we're going to fill out tinyurl.com/Schoolytics form. So let me go ahead and put that into the chat here if you could share it with everyone. tinyurl.com. Oops. Double check that that's the right question. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I made a small error that I had to move. I moved it the last second to a different account. And it says I don't have permission on my own slides. Hold on. Apologies. But I coded my slides. So what this is going to do is, that should work now. When you fill out tinyurl.com/Schoolytics form, tinyurl.com/Schoolytics form, it should let you tell me what do you teach and who you are. So if you wouldn't mind filling that out really quick. Go to the next slide. So what do you teach? That is the same link. It is tinyurl.com/Schoolytics form. And I didn't finish typing it there.
We need to have this slash Schoolytics form there. Yeah,
Yes,
got
yes,
it.
you do. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So it's going in the YouTube chat. So yes, go ahead, everyone. Do put your comments in there so that we get to know who you are.
There we go. I got one. This is working. So while you are filling that out, I will tell you that what I'm really passionate about is using EdTech to interact with people. I don't want to use Google Slides to talk at students. I want to interact with them. And it's a lot easier when I'm with my actual students because I know who they are. I know their email addresses. I can invite them to just have edit access to my slides. I can put it in Google Classroom, give them edit access. It's no problem. But it's a little trickier when you are working with people who are not with you normally. So all of you are new friends for me. Thank you, Vibha, for sharing my add-ons. I appreciate it. So what I do is then I code my slides when I am working with people who I do not know. So I see you've all introduced yourself in the chat. I'm going to drop this out, remove it, and then I'm going to add it again. See if it'll, okay, actually I'm gonna wait because I see a few more people are filling out the form. Give everybody a chance. Okay, I'm gonna do it, last chance, gotta hit submit. Okay, if you could put the slides back up. All right, no, what didn't work? What? Okay, forget it. All right, I'm going to, can you switch to screen share?
Yeah.
There we go. All right, well, now I know that if I try to use Google Slides with StreamYard, that it will not update. But that's really it, right? That's the key to using technology, is just having a good attitude, because nothing ever works the way that you plan it will. And something you've done 100 times, for whatever reason, in this particular instance, it doesn't work the same way. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We have Samita, hi, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name. I will try very hard. Social science, great to have you. Atika is a digital course student. Thanks for being here. Shamshuria, science, thank you. Afik, student teaching language, all right. Middle school math, Vibha, you and me, except I don't do middle school. I wish I did. I think I'd make a great middle school teacher. Zorit's doing GEG, what is the student? Oh, okay. These are just places I don't know. Nitty, mathematics, thanks for being here. Sangita math. All these math teachers, so awesome. I'm not sure what RBT is, MK, but I'm pretty sure that we've discussed this before. Rupali, economics, thank you. Anjali, mathematics. It's like a math party. And then Sanjio is here with history. Now, my husband's a history teacher and an English teacher, so we embrace all of them. Okay, I am going to, actually, I want to slideshow, but I want to take it out of full screen. There we go. So Schoolytics is going to enhance and improve your Google Classroom experience. So I hope that you are using Google Classroom. This is what it works with. Schoolytics is coming soon. Will work with Schoology. I always want to say the wrong one since it's so similar to Schoolytics. Schoology, and then by the end of the year, we should have Canva integration. So if that is products that you use. And I think what's really great about Schoolytics is that you can just log in with your Google account. Like, you don't even have to put in your name, just log in with Google, and you're going to be able to connect your Google Classrooms. And then when you sync your Google Classrooms, it's going to provide you with grading, reports, and insights. Okay. Now, if you will start your day at Schoolytics.com, if you start your day at Schoolytics.com, this is my goal. I want Schoolytics to be so helpful for you that you want to start here, because this is where you're going to find out what students have turned in work, if there's anything of concern. It's going to give you the data to let you know that you should change your lesson. I don't like to make my lesson plans more than 3 days in advance, because I teach students, not content. If by the end of the week I'm still doing what I planned at the beginning of the week, then my students didn't influence my lessons at all. And I think that that is a problem. And so what I want to do is to be able to see, I want to use the data from Schoolytics to see what's working, what's not working, what are my students engaging in, what are they having challenges with, and use that formative data to form how I teach next. So I'm going to need that data every day. Now, we're going to be adding a lot of new features. I have a lot of ideas for how to help you to make assignments more quickly, to reuse assignments more quickly, and to eventually give you suggestions for things that you could do with your students. So my favorite piece is right when I log in, it says, has this button, it says start grading. I can start grading faster. I save hours and hours. Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoy using Google Classroom as well as do I. It is my oxygen as well. The key is really being consistent using Google Classroom. Otherwise, this data doesn't really help you if you're not really using it. And it's really helpful for students as well. There are free student logins. So where I say I start my day at Schoolytics.com, so should your students. They can log in for free, Schoolytics.com. Now, Schoolytics is free for teachers. You'll be able to sync up to 10 of your Google Classroom classes. So if you need more than that, or if you're an administrator or a team leader and you need more insights across teachers, not just your own students, then you're going to want to contact Schoolytics to get a school license where you have a lot more permissions. They also have the ability to have parents have a login, but that again is part of the school license, not part of your free teacher. Okay. So thanks everyone for being here. So I love this button. I just click start grading. Now you'll notice that this says that I have 91% of my assignments graded. My goal is actually to have 87% or better. So I start my day at Schoolytics and it tells me if I'm caught up on my grading. Now, I don't know about you, but a lot of times I'll spend an entire Saturday getting caught up on grading, and then I spend many hours doing that, and then I just feel like this euphoria of I'm caught up on my grading, and then 2 weeks later I'm surprised that I have all this grading. So when I start my day with Schoolytics, it helps me to keep on target, that I keep on top of my grading so I don't fall in that pit of despair where I'm spending my entire Saturday going over student work. So this is super, super helpful. I hope that you'll like it. Now, when you log into Schoolytics, I'm going to switch over to Schoolytics here in a second, you'll see that you have all of these tiles that help you to use your data from Google Classroom even better. But really the key that I want to point out is those filters along the top, because most of the stuff you're going to find in Schoolytics, you actually cannot get out of Google Classroom. It's very strange. Like, why doesn't Google Classroom let me have progress reports? Like, seriously. So Schoolytics does that. But more importantly, we let you do it on a date range. So you can choose, hey, I want to see what assignments are missing the last 7 days. I want to see what assignments are missing this whole school year. So you can set all of those date ranges, because I want to look for improvement. Have students from last week to this week, have they improved? And my data is going to change based on that. Now, the Google Classroom Schoolytics that I'm going to show you is not a real class. So the data is all going to look a little funky. This is sample data. All right, stretch this out. All right, so you'll see that I am logged in, and this does not show my mouse. I have a little purple circle on my mouse, but unfortunately it doesn't show up in the StreamYard. So you'll see this bar along the top. It says this year I have 54 students who have missing assignments, but this week Might be the same because it's not real data. Oh, there we go. This week, nobody has missing assignments because it's a fake classroom. I didn't assign anything this week. So you can see that the data on that front screen changes immediately once I adjust the date range. So this month, I have 54 missing assignments. I can also set groups of students. Now, I don't have any groups in this sample class, so I'm going to go ahead and click this plus icon so that you can see if you have a group of students that you're trying to track to help them to improve, that you're looking for them to have some growth, or you just have students sitting in groups and you want to see how they're doing by group, you can create a group. I am going to name this group Minecraft. I really work hard to differentiate for my students. One of my students yesterday, she made this bold statement of, I want to be an artist. Like, all this stuff we do at school doesn't help me to do art. I said, you want to do art? I would love to have your art. So we devised an assignment project for her to do that. I said, look, here's the directions on this math activity, but I don't really want you to do the directions on here because I want your art. So what do you do for your art that you are an artist at? And in your style, how can you apply these geometry ideas? And she was right into it. She was looking stuff up on the internet and started making out sketches in her notebook. So love, love, love. And then I have another group of students. I let my students choose to do their work in Minecraft. So not all my students want to do Minecraft, but some of them do. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to add some students. I'm going to add some students. So you can see I've got 7 students in here, and save. And I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And so now under groups, I can just look at my Minecraft group. So these are my students who are working on Minecraft. Is this working? So here's what happens a lot of the times. I have students who say they'd like to do an alternative project. Awesome. So I let them do that. I say, here's what I need you to do. And then they don't do it. That's pretty typical. I don't know about your students. So when I click here on this Minecraft group, the data is going to change where I can see what is their assignment completion rate versus what was the assignment completion rate of the whole everybody. So I'm going to uncheck that. So 63% compared to 9%. Hey, that Minecraft group is on fire. They're doing really good. For considering I picked random people. And so I love that I can set up groups, and across Schoolytics, I can see how students are doing and if they are improving. Art is now into NFT. Yes, I need to figure out this NFTs. My buddy, the Edtech Rabbi, has an NFT education podcast. I'm like, there's enough stuff for you to cover on NFTs that you can have a regular podcast about it. Okay, somewhere on here, I had another. Okay, here we go. I'm going to push my question. Okay, great. I'm going to go back to my tab with the slides. Where did those go? Oh, you're over here. Slides. So you can view all of your classes in Google Classroom, which I love, 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 is I don't have to open up each classroom individually. I can see all of them, or I can do a selection of them. So that's really great. So you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that filter up at the top, setting the date range. Now, if you have been using Schoolytics, or even if you have not, I'm going to take a little pause before I continue and ask, do you have any questions? So this is the same Google form. It's the same Google form. So if you'll fill that out, tinyurl.com/Schoolytics-form, tinyurl.com/Schoolytics-form. If you have any questions, I'm also trying to keep track of the dashboard. I see high school history says that the dashboard gives you pretty good insight. It totally does. I love the dashboard. And so while you're answering this question for me, if you have any questions, thank you for including that. I'm going to say, you'll notice on the left side, it says home and dashboard. So the dashboard used to be the home screen. And I love this because it gives me some quick data on the assignment completion and the percent of assignments graded. Honestly, that particular information is over there on the home screen, but I can also see this nice chart of how many assignments are completed each day. I can see what the data is on each of my classes really quickly. So I see that for this Q1 that I did a presentation on, I've given 8 assignments, and 60% of those assignments are graded, and they're getting 100% on those. Again, these are not real classes. And in my reading class, I have 100% assignment completion. That's amazing. And so you can please, when you log into Schoolytics, if you just click on dashboard, it gives you a quick view at some other data. The home page gives you a quick view at some of the data, but more importantly, it gives you action buttons to do something. All right, so you are filling out this form for me. And I have a couple of people who have some questions, but I'm just going to wait one more second, see if anybody else wants to fill one out. Oops. I guess it didn't like that. Exit full screen. Okay. All right. Oh, here we go. All right, so Nero, thanks for filling out the form. I'm glad that you're here. And can students use Schoolytics? Yes, yes, they can. So let me show you that when I go into Schoolytics, you'll notice that I am in teacher view. I can then come up here to my icon up at the top, and I can go down to my profile. And under my profile, it says I'm teacher. I can actually switch to student. So I'm going to switch to student. Now, when students log in, the system knows that they're a student, and so they're going to be in student view automatically, most likely. Okay, so I'm going to click back here to go to the dashboard. Now, this is what student view looks like. So when students log in, they're going to, and again, this is a fake account, so I'm not actually a student in any classes, so it doesn't look very exciting. But students can do a lot of those same things. They're going to have a list of their missing assignments for all of their classes. So they can see from their math class, from their English class, from their history class, they're going to be able to see all their missing assignments in one place. That's a big deal. They can get their grade average, the completed assignments, the assignment completion, the on-time assignment completion, and get some different charts and just a list of their assignments with their scores. It's much easier than using Google Classroom. And you'll see on the left side that they're able to break it down by class or just get a table of missing assignments. Now, on any table in Google Classroom, on any table in Schoolytics, on any table in Schoolytics, you'll see that it has this notification bell. And so with that, you can say, hey, send me an email every week of my missing assignments. So students can do that. They can fill out the notifications, say, yes, send me an email, but you can do that too. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back to teacher view. Profile, from student view back to teacher view. Okay, and there's some more questions, so I'm going to switch back to that in a second. And dashboard. You'll see that it has the notification bell right here on this homepage. So in each screen, like here I'm on disengaged students. These are students who have not turned in work for 30 days. I can click on the notification bell. I can say, hey, give me an email every week as to students who have not done any work this week. Yes, thank you, high school history. It does give them ownership of their tasks. And then, I actually make an assignment in Google Classroom and I say, go check your Schoolytics. Tell me how you're doing. So I have them right in the private comments. That's their warm up for the day, is to get into their Schoolytics account and see how they're doing. Okay. So yes, any of these tables, the late work report. So if students have turned in late work, you could say, hey, notify me if anyone has done that. The other thing you can get in Schoolytics is all of the tables export. So if you click on the 3 dots menu, let me zoom in here. Maybe zoom out a little bit. If you click on the 3 dots menu, save to drive actually means a Google Doc. So it's going to save that report to a Google Doc, which is great, except I'd rather have it to Sheets because, you know, the answer is always a spreadsheet. So whatever these tables are, you own your data. You have control of your data. And if I could show you something that I just made yesterday. So this is brand new. So I'm going to click Save to Sheets. And let's hope that this works since I just made it yesterday. I'm going to click Create the Google Sheet. And if you have your pop-ups enabled, this is going to come up in another tab. Actually, I'm going to click here, View Report. Hide. So under the extensions menu, you can find roster extras by Schoolytics. Roster extras by Schoolytics. That is under the alicekeeler.com/coded by Alice. Roster extras is right here. I'm going to put this in the private chat if you'd like to check that out. So roster extras by Schoolytics, I coded this. This is personally coded by me. And if anyone could click on reviews, you'll see I only have 3 5-star reviews. And I would really, 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 really appreciate if you could all say nice things about my add-on because it is free. So the only thing that I get out of it is people saying nice things about it. But what I'm trying to do is to create extra functionality for Schoolytics. So when I go to the extensions menu and you've installed roster extras by Schoolytics, I'm going to go ahead and show the sidebar. So on the sidebar, it allows you to get very quickly to Schoolytics. If you click that blue button, helps get you back into Schoolytics. It takes you right here into click on login, right into the home screen. The next button I have is Format Sheet because all the tables export to Google Sheets. Yay! With a checkbox, which was my idea. I love checkboxes in Google Sheets. So all of them have a checkbox because who doesn't want a checkbox? And then it'll do this Create Slides, Roster Slides. So I'm going to go ahead and click Create Slides. Now what this is going to do, this is the one you want pop-ups enabled for. It's going to take each person on the report, and in Google Slides, it is going to assign them a slide because I love to collaborate. So here I am in Roster Extras by Schoolytics Late Work Report, but you'll see each slide at the bottom puts the student's name on it. So students can come in and do their work on a slide. So I have one for each student, so it assigns them. I am going to put my Bitmoji on this one. No, I'm not because it's not. I'm going to put a random picture. It says I have to sign in. It's one of those kind of days, friend, where your internet's not working and you left your computer at the office and you have to sign into your Bitmoji. I'm going to get a cat. All right, so there we go. We have a cat. Now, students put their work on the slides. I love having all students in the same Google Slides. It is less paperwork for me. It's much easier for me to see everybody's work in one place. But then also the advantage to this, how does this make learning better, is we do feedback together. So together we go over student work instead of me going home by myself making comments that the students don't even read. So I'm going to come up here to the add-ons menu, and you'll see that there's an option for randomized slides by Schoolytics. I coded this. I coded this for Schoolytics. I'm going to show the sidebar. And I'm going to randomize the slides. So you notice that I was slide 7, and now the cat is slide 62. I'm going to randomize the slides. Oh, I saw the cat. Where'd it go? Cat. It's in here somewhere. There it is. slide 52. So every time you click randomize slides, it's going to shuffle them around. So the advantage to that is here's Melissa is first, Sean is first. Whose work are we going to look at? I'm able to randomize it. We can have those conversations. See, now Faith is first and Brew is first, second. So those are there in the roster extras. You can do popsicle sticks. It'll randomly choose someone. It'll create customized reports. So I'm going to click here, send to docs. I'm going to create a doc. Oh, shoot. I shouldn't have done that. Any columns that you have. So you can put your own stuff in the columns, like attendance on Monday, attendance Tuesday, absent, present. You can track whatever you want. And when you create docs, really should not have clicked that button because it's going to make 60 of them, friends. It is very early in the morning and I've not had my coffee yet. And I'm just not thinking, like, don't create a bunch of documents while you're in the middle of a presentation. I know better than that. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this tab. See if I can get out of this somehow. Okay, I'm going to go back to extensions. Well, I'm having a good time. Come on, here we go. Roster extras by Schoolytics. I'm going to show the sidebar. And what I want to do is I'm going to click here on assignments turned in late. So I'm in the column assignments turned in late. So this is what I made yesterday. If you go all the way to the bottom, I'm going to change this. I don't like the way that I worded it. I'm going to change the words. It says push to slides. So now make sure that I'm in the assignments turned in late column. I'm going to click push to slides. And what this is going to do is it's going to make a Google Slides. And it's going to put that piece of data for each student. So you'll see that Francisco has 0 turned in late. Jim has 0 turned in late. Somebody has some turned in late? Anybody on here? Again, not real data. Anyway, it gives me a little tile for each student that I can then drag it around, and I can group students based on that data. Or if you just want to see that data in Google Slides. So I now have that for you. So any of your reports, any of these reports in Google Classroom or in Schoolytics from Google Classroom, you can take the 3 dots, save it to Sheets, and then use the roster extras to add extra functionality into the Sheets exports. Okay, so I'm going to see if we have any questions. Does this let me refresh this way? I'm in a different view than I normally do. If I refresh, it takes me out. Okay, down here, do it again. And presenter view. Okay. Okay, what tools can be used in Schoolytics to make it fun for students? You bring the fun, Nuriel. You bring the fun. Schoolytics doesn't make Google Classroom fun. Honestly, it allows you to interact better with students. And I think one of the key things for helping students be engaged is that you are on top of things. You know when they've turned in work, you've given them high quality feedback. You know if they're missing a lot of assignments. So what happens is I start my day, literally I start my day with Schoolytics. I get some information that helps me to have conversations with my students, and that is going to really help my students to be more, have more engagement. I don't know about more fun. Your assignments have to be fun. Okay. What is the difference between Schoolytics and Google Classroom? Big, big, big difference, Linda. You have to have Google Classroom. Schoolytics is the data that it pulls from Google Classroom. So you'll notice here in Schoolytics, if I go to this 3 lines menu, I can go to Classes, and I can sync my Google Classrooms. So I can choose which of my Google Classrooms I want to see information on. So you have to have both. It is just the data for your Google Classrooms. Do Schoolytics also monitor work on? It does not monitor. It does not share their screens. It is simply pulling information from Google Classroom and then formulating it into reports, graphs, and charts that are really helpful for you, that you can make progress reports That's one of my favorite things. I'm going to come here back to the dashboard, and I'm going to scroll down. I'm zoomed in. Here we go. I'm going to scroll down. You'll see I have an option to create progress reports. I can reuse assignments. I can export my roster, just get a list of my students. I can generate random groups, and it is really close to being pretty good. Is we're going to create assignments from Schoolytics into Google Classroom, and that's going to allow Schoolytics to give you even more information and better charts and data. What I love is this start grading. So I click start grading. It's going to show me any assignments that have been submitted. Again, this is not a real class, so it looks like only 2 things have been submitted. And then on where it says turned in at, I like to click on that because the columns, you can't really tell because there's only 2 assignments. But any of the columns, you click on any column, it'll sort that column. So I sort it by turned in at, so I get the most recent turned in assignments. So I really stay on top of student submissions. If I click on the assignment links, it actually opens it in Google Classroom, so I can give feedback, so I can put in scores. It's really awesome. Okay, going back to here. What is the main purpose for Schoolytics, Erica? It is for you to get the data and reports from Google Classroom. So really just to help you to get the information you need to interact with your students better. I love the progress reports because those progress reports export to Google Docs. So I can customize, make a note on it for each student. Can I use the data to send notifications to the ones who have not submitted work? Yes! Yes, Sangeeta, you totally can. So over here in Schoolytics, I'm going to come back to the home page. It says student missing work. So I'm going to contact students. So it takes me really just to this missing assignments report page. And I have a button that says bulk missing assignments. Bulk missing assignments. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to pop up this message. Don't worry about my spelling. I like to include the date range. And so when I'm not going to do this, I actually don't want to email this out to these people. It's going to send it to 67 users. It's going to send an email to each student. It's going to send an email to each student and customize that list of missing assignments. Now, coming soon, that will be available for doing to a Google Drive file because not every student has email. Some schools don't turn email on. So for now, it's through email. But what I love is this actually goes through your email. So you know when you send notifications through Google Classroom, you have no record of it. You can't prove you sent the missing assignments. With Schoolytics, you can. All right. And then, of course, I can use the 3 dots. I can save this to Sheets. But if you'll notice, it has this drill down icon. So next to each student, I'm going to click here on Ryan Williams. And it's going to give me all of their assignments and some charts and graphs. I'm zoomed in weird on this. Control minus. Okay, I'm in the missing assignments. Right? This is his missing assignments. This is the missing assignments for Ryan. And so I can email him, or I can 3 dots, save it to Drive, which is a Google Doc, or save it to Sheets with a spreadsheet. And that's going to be Ryan's list of missing assignments. So you still have that control that it doesn't have to be emailed, but you have to do it one at a time for now. So if you want to do it in bulk, the bulk sending of missing assignments is on email. It is sent via email. But if you just send students to Schoolytics.com, you send students to Schoolytics.com, they can see their list of missing assignments. So you can just assign them, hey, go check out Schoolytics.com and let's start getting this work turned in. All right, all right, I'm just checking to see if we have some more questions that were added. That is not the right screen. Yes, it is. Okay, and then I went through those. So the key really, you got to be consistent with Google Classroom so that you get good information in Schoolytics. You can let that drive your interactions with students and really provide the information that you, parents, students need in order to be successful at school. Now, this is new, brand new, is topic summaries. topic summary. So on the left-hand side, when you click on assignment topics, it's going to show you how students are performing by topic. That's like new this week. So that's really, really exciting. I do not want to see more. And I just did the missing assignments report, so we don't need to go over that again. But the progress reports, you are going to love this. I'm going to come back here to the home screen. It gives me the option that says create progress reports. So I'm going to click on that. And you can do it in bulk with Teacher Pro. So the bulk progress reports is not free. So I'm going to click here on Cassandra Reed. And then it gives me the option for a progress report when I drill down by student. So I'm going to click on progress report. I'm going to create the Google Doc. So this is going to give me all of that student's information for the date range. I'm going to view the report. Now, I don't grade traditionally. I don't do traditional grades. So I like to delete out the pieces of information that don't pertain to my students. I'm like, well, I do rubric scoring. So averaging scores doesn't make sense with rubrics. And I can come down, I can write a note. Cassandra, you got this. Awesome. You know, it's a Google Doc, so I can do whatever I want with it. I can make the font bigger. That was too big. I can change the font color. I can come down, it gives me, you know, these tables. I'm like, I don't want this on there. I can delete stuff. So it gives me, these are the things that student has done the best on. And then here's the missing assignments, things they haven't turned in. And here's a list of all of their assignments. And you can customize this because it's a Google Doc. How do you share it? Like you would share any Google Doc. So that should be really, what I will do is I will go into Google Classroom. So you're in Google Classroom. I go to the stream and I will make the Google Doc report for the progress report, and I click on Google Drive. It's going to be right there. I just exported it. I'm missing some of these comments. I'm going to click on progress report right here. Now, obviously, I don't want to give the whole class Cassandra's progress report. That would be ridiculous. So I come up to all students. I uncheck all students. Cassandra's in this class. Yep. And I assign it to only Cassandra. Right? So this is one of the ways that I share the progress reports with students is I just add it to the stream and I share it with just that student. Or I just click on the share button and I share it with the student. I type in their email. Or any other ways that you share Google Docs. It's a Google Doc. Okay. What else I got in here? I already went over that. So I think that is mostly what I have. So hold on, give me a second so I can update the Google form. And okay, that should work. So if you'd like to share with me what frustrates you about Google Classroom, this is my goal with Schoolytics, is to try to, I can't solve everything, but to try to create solutions that helps you love Google Classroom by using Schoolytics. So one of the things is Google Classroom doesn't have progress reports, but Schoolytics does. Google Classroom doesn't allow me to easily give parents a list of missing assignments. Schoolytics does. Google Classroom doesn't count a 0 as missing. Schoolytics does. So if you want to share with me some things that frustrate you about Google Classroom, then I would like to try and either tell you how we solve that or put it on a list so I can try and work on that. So it is the same Google form, the tinyurl.com/Schoolytics form. And while you're filling that out, I will go ahead and tell you the last few things. A hidden Easter egg in Schoolytics is you can add hashtags into your assignment descriptions. So what does that mean? So I'm on the classwork page, this card. I'm on the classwork page. I'm going to create an assignment. When I create an assignment, I add the critical thinking level, DOK1. I say that it's week 29. I say this is a group project. It's discussion. and we're going to be using quizzes, I try to put a hashtag for everything that I might want to have data on, because in Schoolytics, let me go back over here. You'll see on the side it says assignments tags. It gives me data by those hashtags that I put in the descriptions. Oh, I don't want that. So down here, you'll see that I was doing a test hashtag called chicken liver. It's going to break down how my students are doing by hashtag. So I can break down how my students are doing by topics, and I can break down how my students are doing by hashtags. And then if you use hashtag exclude, so again, that just goes in the instructions of your Google Classroom assignment. So you can use whatever hashtags you want, and I encourage you to just be a hashtag theme. The trick is, of course, spelling it the same each time, right? I'm not going to do group and group work. Pick one, use the same one each time, because then I can see how are my students doing on group work? How do my students do on discussions? When I give them quizzes, I notice they're much more likely to do it than if I give them a spreadsheet to do, right? So that is really super easy to do, but you just have to get in the habit of including those in there. So, but if you do the exclude, it'll exclude it from Schoolytics. So if you have just optional assignments that you don't want it averaged in, the scores averaged in, you don't want it on the missing assignments report, you don't want it to be included in the Schoolytics data, just do hashtag exclude. So I think that's a really big feature. Okay, so I am going to back this up. Usually what I do, friends, is I publish to the web so that when I refresh, it just shows your responses. But unfortunately, I just didn't do that this time for some reason. Okay. Rupali, can we use Schoolytics for sending email reminders to guardians of students who are not doing work on time? Yes. And a new feature coming up is exactly that. So we're gonna, the missing assignments report, we are not currently syncing with your guardians, but it's on the to-do list. So really any day now, we're gonna have the ability to share these reports with guardians. We just don't have that yet, but coming soon. Any maximum number of students that can be analyzed? I don't think so, because the school-wide accounts, if you have an admin level account, you're looking at school for the data for the entire district, which could be, you know, if you're San Francisco Unified, that's 40,000 students. So you should be able to do at least 40,000 students. So I think the answer is no maximum. So that's good news. Okay, thanks, David. Thanks for filling out the form, though. Neural, what tools can be used in Schoolytics to make it? We already went over that one. Okay, great. On the wrong page. Right, Rima, exactly. Google Classroom doesn't let me check my data very well. It's very difficult. It has some data. It doesn't have a lot of data. Schoolytics does. That is what it is. Schoolytics is a data platform. We are showing you your Google Classroom information. No, Google Classroom is not able to record learning sessions. And if you have the free version of Google Classroom, your Google Meets do not record. And unfortunately, that is not something that I can solve with Schoolytics, but you could use Screencastify. Screencastify is freemium. You can record up to 5 minutes. And so Screencastify might be a way that you can work around recording some of your lessons, and you can put that into Schoolytics. Not being able to schedule the return of the assignments you've corrected. I leave it as a draft, so you'd have to manually go in. Now, one thing that I definitely am working on is I want Schoolytics to be how you manage Google Classroom. That's my goal. We're not there yet. We're getting there. So ultimately, I want you to be able to grade, put the grades and scores into Schoolytics. Now, if you're doing that, then we would be able to do this for you. So I'm going to go ahead and save this comment. I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to send it specifically to my boss, because that is something we should be able to do. But to be honest, we probably won't have that for at least a year, the ability to score assignments. It's on the roadmap. not being able to stop taking submissions. That is possibly something that Schoolytics would do. I will share with you my personal opinion. If it's worth assigning, it's worth collecting. So I don't want to turn off assignments. If students want to do it later, thank you. I assigned it for a reason. It was either a learning activity or it wasn't, but that is a personal opinion. I want to close an assignment. Same question. Thanks, Sanchita. Okay, I think that's all I have. I think I went through everything. Oh no, there's one last thing. You can reuse assignments much easier in Schoolytics. You can reuse them much easier. So you go to the library up at the top and you go to all my assignments. It's going to show your assignments and it's searchable. So it says search up here. I'm going to type in baseball. What happens? I don't have anything for that. If I do Schoolytics, yes, I have assignments about Schoolytics. It's searchable. You can't search assignments in Google Classroom. You can search assignments in Schoolytics, and it searches across all your classes. So you can reuse assignments much faster and much easier using Schoolytics. Okay, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate your joining and your questions. And I'm always happy to take any more questions if you have any.
Thank you so much, Alice. Thank you. This was superb. We had not personally explored Schoolytics so far, but I think as Sanchita said and Vibha said, we are getting and starting on it and start digging deeper into this soon. Because I just explored on the surface and we had fetched out some data for our school reports, and that was it. But now I see that there is so much possible with Schoolytics. So thank you so much for sharing. And I can see that people in the chat are also excited looking at the possibilities. Also, the add-ons that you showed, I think those were fantastic. We are mesmerized with the idea that how do we interact? You could get our questions as we went along. I think that was superb. And so, my question was coming up, how are you updating this Google Form
Yeah,
with
Alice has a code for that, I think.
same?
I do.
Yes,
I
yes.
do. That in particular is probably the one and only thing I keep to myself. So when I do presentations with people that are not my students, I want to have this interactivity like I do with my students. But again, that I don't know who's in the room. So that is something I've coded and then people just think I'm a ninja, right? So
You are.
that is
You
not
are.
the one thing I
You
don't
are.
share. I
Yes.
apologize.
You are a ninja for us. And yes, I mean, it's amazing how as per the need of the teacher, as because you really think like a teacher. You are a teacher,
I am
but
a
you
teacher.
think like a teacher when you code. So you are looking at what would work for the teacher, how would the student gain from this, and you are going in that direction rather than creating a product and then asking teachers to use it. So I think that is what I really appreciate, and I can see so much value in everything that you have shared here today. So thank you so much. But since I know MK is a pro at using Schoolytics, so MK, in case you have something, here's Alice. You can ask her right away.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Sangeeta, and for our lovely mentor, Alice. So much. Thank you so much for sharing this quality. And for information, Alice, in Malaysia, we also using this quality for lesson plan management. So actually, either the teacher also as a student, and when the principal assign the weekly lesson plan management, so we use this quality to manage that you call monitor, manage, and measure, and we can avoid missing teachers that not submit the weekly lesson plan. Then we can do it a reports, and actually it's not because previously if you are using the Google, so we hardly to know and hardly to create the reports. But since we have known that Scholastic can do wonders in terms of teaching, and in terms of management, we also using that for management of the lesson plan, and together in our subject assignment. And I like the way we can reuse assignment because we are using Google Classroom since 2019. We have hundreds of even thousand assignment we have given the student. But this Schoolytic we check the history, and the first assignment we send to the student we can recall back in Schoolytic. So these features is what we call a rare function. So I urge every educators, even we are using Google Classroom plus add on this Schoolytic, and also don't forget to search on add-on, type the Schoolytic add-on. I love how we can sorting our student name, and then create the Google slide, and we can put the student name in the each slide, and then we can make them group works. And it's so amazing how this Alice Keeler do wonders about this thing lah. Thank you so much, Alice Keeler. Thank you. Back to you.
Well, thank you. And I know MK is part of the Schoolytics Teachers Facebook group. So if you want to share that with others later, that would be awesome. I'd love to see all of you join in. And that's a great place to ask questions or just share ideas about Schoolytics. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you on behalf of all the educators of Delhi, NCR, India, and we have had Mima from, I'm missing out on that, Malaysia, right? So we have lots of educators joining from Malaysia today who have really, participated very actively. They are the users of Schoolytics. So thank you for joining us today and for learning with us and gaining the most of this opportunity, because this is a very, very special day for us and we are very happy. I hope some of you have taken screenshots of us with Alice and you're going to tweet at Alice and us so that we can get connected with you and we can keep learning together. So thank you so much, Alice, and we hope that sometime soon you will again make time for us and teach us some of these special coding things. So some of the special extras, that you are using, I think teachers will benefit a lot from that. So we will look forward. But most of all, I want to thank you. This is a very, very early hour for you. It's not even day started for you. So wish you could
when I got on, it was dark, but it's day now. So.
Is it? All right. So I hope you have a great day ahead and a great weekend. And we will look forward to having you with us sometime soon again. So thank you so very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everyone, and take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.